It was with such great excitement that we were able to launch our Dandelion Days preschool and GradeR program in KZN last week. I'd love to share with you some of the things I shared with the mommies who were able to attend with their little people. And if you'd like to know more and see how this too can be a part of your life and your reality, please pop over to our website www.homeschoolsouthafrica.co.za and click through to GradeR or on the Dandelion Days. Click through.
Years ago with my oldest son, when we suddenly had him at home, and I was like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And I ended up writing this whole beautiful program using literature to just learn things. And I was a remedial teacher, and then people were coming to me and saying, teach my child to read. So I had all these different things happening, and I was like, well, they don't need to learn to read when they're 4 actually, but there are things we can start doing. So that's when this journey started. And I actually have got on our website, I've got a book I wrote on, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be called Ready, Steady, Read. I don't know if it's still called that. But it was teaching parents how to use everyday life in order to read. And part of that was this preschool program I wrote. But what happened was over time, all the books went out of print. So I've got this beautiful program that no one can get hold of the books. You can read them online now, but those books are out of print. So I was very sad about that. I've been trying to have time to rewrite it and make it beautiful, and it hasn't happened. So what we eventually did was I phoned Caitlin, because I've seen that beautiful, most amazing stuff she does with her business, and I've known her forever, and she actually used my program many years ago, the original one, when the books were all still in print. I'm like, you know what this is? So I sent her all the new stuff for the new books, and she has made it absolutely beautiful. So now we finally can relaunch something we had to take off the shelves because everything was out of print, and we've done it all with new books now. The way it works is that we have a storybook. This morning we're going to look at our first one. We're going to look at this storybook, and from you taking a book and just using this one book with your child, we've created a program that covers all your preschool skills, your auditory, your visual, your gross motor, your fine motor. From the remedial side, I've taken all the preschool skills a child needs, and I've put it into the program, and there's activities that you do with your child from the storybook that covers all your pre-reading skills. As well as we've now made sure it covers all the CAPS GradeR skills as well in the activities. But the heart behind this is that it is intentional. It's where you're being intentional, but your child doesn't have a clue that it's a learning moment. So when you taught your children to clean your teeth, you didn't sit down and go, today we're going to clean your teeth and this is how you do it. You just taught them over time. And that is what this program, for want of a better word, does, is it teaches you how to do that in everyday life. So this is just a sample. This is the cover of our bear hunt one, and we've just printed out a little bit of it for you. Each week, it's a 4-week program for each story, and we're going to work through some of it today, which is going to be so much fun. Each week has a different theme that you work on, and then it's got a whole stack of activities and ideas in no order. There's no plan for you. The plan is that you stick this up on the fridge. And you're like, oh wow, look, today we can do that. Oh wow, look, we can do that. Oh, that's great. Oh wow, it's raining, we've got to change what we're doing. So I got very stressed when I first started homeschooling. We've got week 1, do this. Wednesday, you need to do that. And then it's like, Wednesday everyone was sick. No, how do we do? And that for me was the biggest block when I started homeschooling, was having to keep up with somebody else's plan. So the plan is that here's the big picture. That's week 1 of the 4-week plan. So you've got the whole week to work through it. And you might get to week 2 and not have finished it, but you can start doing the stuff in week 2 and jump back to week 1. Okay, so it's very flexible from that point of view. And then what we've also put in here, we've put in any printables that you might need for your child. We put in, so like for example, your little 3-year-old is not going to be doing this page. So you just leave it. And later on, when you've got your next child and you're redoing it with the next one, you can whip this out and do it with them again later on. So you can do it more than once. We've got all our different principles, and then what we've also got is an alignment up with the CAPS document for those of you that want to prove that you have done the GradeR. So legally, now in grade 3 and grade 6, we need to assess our children. We don't have to assess in the other years, but some parents want to know that they have completed the grade. So we've created an online portfolio portal where you can take things like this, and then you go to your portal, and your child's in grade R, you bought the grade R portal, and it says on there you need to do understanding and meaning for English, and you go, oh wow, look, this activity we've done, understanding and meaning. I take a photo, I put it up on my portal, and then when they come along and go, did you do grade R? You're like, yeah, look at my portal. But you as a mom never have to think about caps, you don't have to process it, you just take what you're doing and you put it up in there, and there's a list there of basically what you need to cover, and you can look. And we have told you in here, there is a page at the end of the document that tells you everything that is covered in here for those that are in grade R. But before then, you don't really have to keep any proof of learning. But we want our kids to be ready for learning moments. And so even a child that learns to read when they're 3 or 4, it's always good to do something like this, because you can go back and reteach those skills. So maybe they didn't do their fine motor, maybe their auditory and visual isn't very clear, even though they're able to read. So often when children do read early, I find the parents miss out. They feel they can't go back and do those things. But you can. And then the one last thing, I'm going to read you a story now. The one last thing is that we also have which I should have brought with me, which I don't have out here, is the fun days. There's for when they're in grade R. So a lot of this is hands-on incidental learning. By the time they reach grade R, we actually want them to start doing stuff on paper. So we have a fun days program which takes all your pre-reading skills and then starts doing them on paper. So for children that are in grade R, I say buy this and add the fun days, which is then actually go outside, get a leaf, bring it in, and actually let's look at the leaf and actually draw. We're actually not trying to do visual on paper.
Away, you have to tell me what to do.
Like, why don't we the most lost?
No, exactly.